In Zeke's first solo adventure of 2025, he and two of his cycling buddies embarked on an epic cycling adventure across Australia from Melbourne to Sydney. I'm excited to take you along as Zeke shares this incredible journey through the Australian wilderness. Subscribe to our channel for more Zeke and Terri adventures.
Well, today we boxed up some bikes, jumped on an airplane, 15 hours to Melbourne. Had to build the bikes in the airport, which is always fun. But about 5 minutes outside the airport, we found some gravel. That's the beginning of a great trip. We've made it about halfway so far today. I'm all upside down. It's 250, although my body feels like it's, I don't know where it is. But we are at Curve Bikes here in Melbourne. One of our guys, one of the Erics, has a new Curve bike, so we wanted to stop by the factory shop, check it out, and then we have another half left riding to the house that we're staying at tonight, and we might end up taking the train. I don't know, we're running a little bit late and low on energy.
Well, good morning. It's our first morning in Australia, and we're staying at a friend's house in Frankston, and we'll ride out of here mid-morning as we get some more stuff that we need to get, some gas canisters for camping, etc., that you can't fly with, and have a nice breakfast. But we're staying at this friend's house who backs up to these eucalyptus groves here. It's just gorgeous, and all sorts of birds. I think I heard the kookaburras going off early this morning. I had some bike tweaks I knew I needed to make this morning, but problems seem to be larger than I thought. I'm able to access only about 60 to 75% of my gears. This could be a problem. I gave a crisis moment on my bike earlier, and I just want to let everybody know out there that there's several pieces, several tools that you have to be able to make.
Right
well,
here.
yeah, the most important one is an engineer.
Yeah. With the right hat.
With the right hat, exactly. Akadaka.
Akadaka.
Sometimes you find a way through the mess. Well, that worked out. All right, so road construction is always a challenge because that doesn't always show up on Google Maps, and sometimes you just got to figure out a way around it. And we got lucky today. Oh, we're gonna ride it. Yeah. Oh, low branch. Oh. Now we're riding through this area, and there's a lot of open cow fields that are being turned into housing. It's not uncommon, apparently, in Melbourne suburbs for folks to need housing, and they're just putting in huge housing tracts. A lot less rail trail than we thought we were going to get today, so hopefully at some point in time, if not today, tomorrow, we get off of these roads and away from the traffic. Finally, we're getting onto some gravel here in the second half of the day. Hopefully this holds out the rest of the day, because busy roads with trucks and all that traffic is really not fun. Gravel. It's nice when it's 5-star gravel. Packed, just a little bit of rock on top, no big deal. Slows you down a little bit. Downsides, when cars pass either direction, you get a mouthful of dust. And then the worst part is when it's no longer 5-star gravel. It's been rained on and it turns into a washboard. Then you're just bouncing and trying to hold on and hunting for a line that isn't too bouncy. All right, we are very close to the end of the riding day, and we're just starting to get a little bit of precipitation, a little bit of spitting going on. so hopefully it blows through. We don't have to stop and get the rain jackets out and all that stuff. Well, we've effectively made it to the end of the day here in Warragul, Australia. And if you can see behind me, it's a little cloudy, a little drizzly. We are at a Woolworths getting some beverages for the evening with our Warm Showers hosts that are very generously hosting us this evening. Well, we have a little bit of a ride left, and we had to put the rain gear on. Oh, cheers. Cheers. Thank you so much, guys. Yay, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, fueled up, coffee bags, and hot cross buns, and we are hitting the road. A little cold this morning. We're a short ways down the road, but we needed, as much as I appreciate everyone's attempt at instant coffee bags, tea bag simulations, for someone who coffee is the last fun thing I get to have, I need real coffee. What we're experiencing today is not uncommon because we don't typically ride with this much weight at this distance this many days in a row. So things happen to bikes that don't happen on a half-day training ride for 20-30 miles. So I think we've narrowed it down to the brake pads as making a squeaking noise, and then we'll start it up and try again. We do have a bike shop up somewhere a little bit off the route that we could get to, but hopefully we can avoid extending our ride at all. We're not sure what we found here. We are now on a rail trail. So this neighborhood down here has a little park area that tied in with a route that came up, crossing the old railroad crossing, which of course there's no rails left. And the nice thing about rail trails is that they're relatively flat and they're long and straight. They don't do a lot of turning because it used to have a train on it. Howdy cow. Howdy cow. Howdy cow. Howdy cow. All right, you're okay. Whoa, you're all right. Okay. I met a cow on the trail today. Not sure where he got loose from. I would definitely rather deal with cows on the trail than cars on the road. End of trail. This is the high value gourmet lunch we have on these rides. Section of rail trail.
Look where we are.
Gotta love it. Get off the road. Get away from the cars.
We love getting away from cars, and that is going to be beautiful.
Welcome to Gippsland.
This is turning into a very nice, long, straight section of rail trail. This is the beauty of a rail trail. Nice and flat, low, under 3% grade, and generally pretty straight. Much better than riding on the road. Well, if you can't tell, this is the best day of riding we've had yet, day 3, which doesn't surprise me. Getting out of the major metropolitan area of Melbourne and the surrounding suburbs is always a challenge, but I think we finally made it to the countryside with some very, very attractive rail trail. And this is why I come out, fly around the world to do this. It just doesn't get much better than that. So sometimes we get to the end of the day and Strava fans out there, yeah, the endorphins have hit a little hard, and so these guys are just so close to a metric century, 62 point something miles, which would be 100 kilometers, that we're at our location, at our destination, and they are now riding down the street and around to get the last tenths of distance to be able to have a metric century. I am at 99 kilometers and I am not riding anymore. I'm done. So these guys can just ride their bikes all they want, but my butt is done. So I am standing on the rail trail right here. We rode in, got off a little earlier. You know how sometimes when maps tell you to get off and then you go to where you're going and you're like, I could have just gone right here. So here's the rail trail, and we're in Heyfield. They've got pump tracks for kids on bikes and all sorts of fun stuff, and it continues down there, and we'll jump on this tomorrow morning and head right out. Tonight we are staying at the Railway Inn, and it is right there. Huge room, 3 beds, $90. Plenty of room for the bikes even in the room. That's great. And there's a pub in there. We're gonna go have dinner. All right, we made it to Heyfield. Heyfield. Cheers. Good day. A good morning. We had a little bit of coffee in the room, but that's not going to do it. And we need breakfast before we start riding. So this little town is barely waking up, but apparently someplace opened a couple hours ago. So we're going to go have a cup and more. Well, breakfast at Cuppa and More was absolutely fantastic. And this is the most efficient little town because that was the coffee place. Right over there is the rail trail. And right on the other side of that park was our hotel. It's all within a stumbling distance. Come across another little town, Mafra, on the rail trail. Of course, find a bike shop. You got to go in and talk bikes. They also have fishing equipment. But beautiful, cute little town. Mark over at the bike shop sent us to the Mafra bakery, and we have ended up with probably more than we need, but it all looks so good. So Stratford, well done. Got a little public park here, beautiful, manicured. We have very nice bathrooms. Well done, Stratford. Well, we are off the rail trail, and now we're just on gravel roads between farms and horses and whatever. So hopefully this is the vibe the rest of the way, but I'm sure we'll have some cars out there somewhere. And about 30 seconds later, here we are. So roads are not all bad when they're as smooth as this one and as few cars as this one's got. Well, that was the first flat of the trip, which is always a pain in the ass. But the worst part of this one is that it was right where some sort of, I don't know, dead kangaroo or something was across the street, across the road. And so we had to just get and hope for the wind to blow in the right direction. Anyway. It's also very nerve-wracking when you have a flat and you can't figure out exactly what it was that gave you that flat. So hopefully I don't have another flat here in 5 minutes because we couldn't find the first flat. Riding after lunch is like the last thing I want to be doing right now. I'd rather take a nap or sit down and have a cappuccino But riding with a full stomach of food is a little challenging, although I know I need the food. Jumping right back on the bike has got its challenges, and it's really starting to warm up. We had a nice lady pull over and chat with us, wanted to make sure we were okay. We were only 10 miles or so, maybe even less than that from our destination, so we appreciate the thought. Very nice lady. And yeah, you run into all kinds of folks out here.
And tonight we are staying at another Warm Showers host. Lovely family, 2 little kids, gonna leave them to their privacy. And I am going to call it a day because I need a shower, and they're being very generous in making us dinner. And then I'm gonna go to sleep because tomorrow we have 60 plus miles and several thousand feet of climbing. See you tomorrow.
This is what you have to do when you don't have a dryer.
We are trying to motivate ourselves here. I have a very generous host of our warm showers last night that put together a absolutely phenomenal couple pots of high octane coffee. So I'm enjoying that, but we do need to get some food. And the next 3 days we're starting to plan out are going to be more remote. So we're gonna have to carry some more food for ourselves to be able to make it to the 3rd day. So a lot of planning this morning, but I'm pretty sure it must involve a meat pie.
And in case you're wondering, everything dried except for the riding shorts. So they're going to be out here in the sun getting their final dry cycle. I'm just trying to work in the sunscreen. Oh God, this is just horrible. Where's makeup? Makeup, fix this, would you? You know what it is? The sunscreen accentuates my gray beard, which is going to really evolve over the next 10 days.
Ciao.
Custard like your kryptonite?
Oh, totally. Oh, custard filled something and custard filled that, and do
Lord.
it.
Oh boy.
I'm not a huge custard guy. You take the small one.
The things I do to bail you out. 3 breakfasts, 3 lunches. That's what we have to carry. So we did quite the shopping spree. That's not typical. And then we found ourselves a place to do a full haircut and coffee drop. I'm legally obligated to put a disclaimer in this that if you think every rail trail is going to look like this, no. The Erie Canal Trail up until now was the top of the bar, top of the stack. We're seriously going to be looking into someone on the city council that approved this deal having relations with the asphalt contractor, because this is insane. Whoa!
Oh my goodness, look at this. How glorious.
All right, we have a new high bar for rail trails. East Gippsland Rail Trail is absolutely outstanding. Paved most of the way so far. Total distance we're going to travel on it today is like 40 miles, 59 kilometers. Just outstanding. And they've even converted an old trestle, train trestle. After 10 kilometers of asphalt, we are back now onto the traditional rail trails. All right, this is a perfect example of a rail trail. I think I'm holding this about level, and we are just going ever so much up this long incline. That would work for a train. It's carrying a heavy load, and is great when you're cycling. There's no steep climbs, but it's long, and it just goes and goes and goes. This is one of those times where you go, how did I get so lucky? because that's really what it is. Well, we found ourselves in Bruthen. A couple bakeries, a couple shops. Gonna fuel up with some stuff. But we got one more possible town after this, and then we're really out there. You and your honey.
Oh, I gotta have some honey. Wipe that off a little bit for you. What the hell? Are you kidding?
Off. It'll buff off.
Yeah, just a flesh wound.
Okay, folks, this is why you always wear gloves. This gravel out here is packed pretty good. It's a little bit loose on the edges. I got a little too close to the edge, wasn't paying attention, and edge broke away, and down we went. And the glove saved my hand. Wear gloves. Evaluating our final steps of the day. I'm drinking a Fanta orange drink. I need a sugar infusion. We're gonna go down the road and get some lunch. Well, they weren't making any more food over at the new place, so we ended up over at the general store. And I got a pie, sausage roll, but it's pre-packed. It's not made here, but it's all that's available. Listen. And we're back on gravel. Yeah, it's late in the day. Yeah, you're tired. Yeah, it's hot. I got food in me, but just keep pedaling. We made it off of the gravel road for today. I've never heard that bird song before. The closer I think I am, the more tired I get. If I still had 10 or 15 more miles to go, I wouldn't be this tired. But because I know I'm almost there, I'm exhausted. We've made it to dinner. We're not sure where we're staying, but we've made it to dinner. Woo-wee! Oh, gentlemen, that was a hell of a day.
Hell of a day. Solid.
There you go.
Man,
Bring it in.
that dropped at the end. Whew.
That's a big drop.
There are only a few motels in this town, and we were able to get one, and we have to, of course, continue riding. It wasn't right next to the restaurant where we had these enormous burgers that I ate every bit of. But I'm finding it's easier to ride my bike than to walk. My little crash today landed on my hip, so there's definitely going to be some ibuprofen in my future and a nice hot shower. Don't bounce like I used to. Good morning. We had a phenomenal sunrise today, and we had some version of breakfast. This place was supposed to supply breakfast. Turned into be cold cereal and fruit cups. Chain maintenance in the morning is always a good idea, especially after riding on dirt all day. Chain picks up a bunch of dirt. Want to clean that off. And we're hearing some rifle shots. So we're wondering what that is. Might be hunting season. And a good number of bird sounds out this morning. So today is a relatively short ride on the schedule, 36 miles, but 4,500 feet of climbing. And we are loaded up with water because we do not know how much water we're going to find out there. We're camping the next 2 nights. So challenges exist. We've stocked up. We forgot more coffee grounds. So hopefully we'll find some this morning before we leave this little town. And then we will be on our way. place is a post office. But in Australia anyway, and I've heard in Europe, post offices are not just for mailing letters, it's also part of the banking system. So this rural area has access to banking systems. That's outstanding. Made it to the top. This is the top and I'm not going up anymore. Oh, there's always more up. You think there's an open space? They've got water. Oh yeah. Dude, they have showers. This little gray mystery box. We were wondering what this was. Power. So we can charge our phones and bike computers and all that type of stuff. So we are thrilled. I enjoyed my freeze-dried dinner and I immediately wanted to get into bed. As it stands, it's only 7:50, but I'm going to sleep. I don't care how early I'm up in the morning. Had a beautiful sunrise today and a couple beautiful pots of coffee and extremely calm weather, but in the last 5 minutes this wind has picked up. Great campsite. It was absolutely lovely last night. I slept like a log. A little bit of pharmaceutical assistance. Treated a little bit of water this morning. We're loaded up, so we should be able to get more water if we need it, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. All right, we're gonna get riding. It's about 8 o'clock. We only have 30 or so miles and 3,000 feet of climbing today, but I'm tired. Let's hope that is not straight on into the wind. Let's get that at our backs a little bit. All right, this is climb 2 of 13 today, but I don't think any of them are going to be as long as the 8-miler we had yesterday. Oh my gosh, this Snowy River Valley is absolutely gorgeous. We've ascended out of the ranch lands and the wind into the Snowy River Range and found ourselves just stunning views, but less wind. That's been nice. Mainly dirt roads back here and incredible views. After one of the most epic descents that I've ever experienced, we've ended up down here at the Sugenbugen River. Then we got to go maybe another 10 kilometers to get to the Snowy River, but it is just beautiful. And we've been confirmed by some other campers that water is much more available going on from here. So we're not going to be pumping or filtering water out of this to carry with us because we don't need to.
Harmless. Look at us trying to find a space to hide. Where the hell did you pick that up?
I have no idea.
That's cool.
He was inside the...
Oh, no! There he is. There he is. Outside.
Oh, it's on the outside. Good.
All right.
Whoops, underneath.
Oops, he's in here.
Okay. He's coming out the backside.
There it is. There he goes. You ever see the movie The Man from Snowy River? Apparently there's an issue in this movie about some horses that the English brought over a long time ago, and they got loose and they're an invasive species. And we did see a sign that alluded to something happening tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and that they didn't really, the sign seemed to say that they didn't want hikers off in the trees. There were these lines on the road. So we figured, well, we're going to stay on the road. We're not going to go off the road. And then we had someone pass us and say that the entire park's being closed at 7 a.m. because from helicopters tomorrow, they're going to be exterminating some horses. And we have seen a lot of horse poop on the road. We haven't seen any horses, just the horse poop. So we may be getting picked up by a ranger tonight, or we may be riding a little urgently tomorrow morning. We're not going to ride today though, because there's no campgrounds beyond this, and it's another 4,500 feet of climbing to get out. So let's see what happens. It's all about the stories. It does explain why this absolutely gorgeous campground is completely empty. Well, we've done everything but set up tents because we're waiting for someone to pull up and say, you guys got to get out of here. Get in this truck and let's take you to Jindabyne, which is the next city we're going to anyway, which would be great because they've got breweries and hotels and showers and all those things. But I think it's going to be in the morning and we're going to be on the road anyway. So unless something happens between now and tomorrow morning, I'll see you tomorrow morning. We just have to find a place to set up our tents where there's no ants. Good morning. Quick coffee, bean burrito for breakfast, packed up and on the road before we could hear any helicopters that were supposed to be coming around to exterminate the feral horses. Some stories haven't changed. I've done about 1,000 feet of my 3,300 feet of climbing to start the day. There's another 1,000 feet after that. And up. Haven't heard any helicopters, so that's good. But it just keeps going and going and going. And at different spots you can see way out in the distance there's a little strip of the trail that we've been on up until now. Thankfully also it's nice and cool. We enjoyed a lovely overlook, a little drone footage there for you. Staying cool. I saw a raindrop or two, and we are now officially out of the park, and we can see there's some grazing pastures up here. You know these roads are bumpy when you find trim pieces off cars and hubcaps. Well, we finally made it to the top, and hopefully we're going to say goodbye to the dirt, because as I spin around over here, oh please, 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 please. Got about 3,600, almost 3,700 feet of climbing done. I think we have less than 1,000 left. We have blue skies. We have black tarmac. It's early enough. We should be in Jindabyne for lunch at 1, hopefully. And I just slammed down another packet of tuna fish and some electrolytes, and I'll probably eat the rest of my Snickers bars without sharing them. I am just depleted at this point in time because now we're in the heat of the day. We're on a busy highway road. All the elements of a pain in the ass. And I have a pain in my ass. Home is the Kookaburra Ski Lodge, and it has got a family size, so it's got 5 beds and a bathroom. and immediately we need to take showers and make a big pile of clothes and get to a laundromat immediately. Thankfully, we got in early enough to have some rest time before we found a shopping center. We got a few supplies, we got some equipment that we needed. Maybe what stunk wasn't the laundry, because I took all my clothes off before I took a shower, and for a moment I stood there and I was just like, what is that smell? It was me.
Thanks for watching the first half of Zeke's cycling trip down under. In the next video, I've been promised hot tubs and more Aussie creatures. And spoiler alert, they made it to Sydney all in one piece.